Hey there folks, and welcome back to GT7's 130 mile per hour tryouts. And this tryouts I'm doing the Toyota Sports 800 1965, Toyota's first sports production car of Japan. So here's the parts and list for the Toyota Sports 800 1965, which you can do a lot with this car. But yeah, you would think, oh, that measly, I don't know, like 20 or 30 horsepower this car came with was pretty bad. No, it just needs 66 horsepower just to hit 130 miles per hour. That's kind of all it needs. I will say there's definitely a drawback for hitting such a low horsepower, but we will get to that matter once we get on the track. But for now, here's the parts and stuff. And yeah, the 2U Sport 800, the 2U specifically, this engine is used for buses, sports cars, and whatever else Toyota may have used in mind for this. But yeah, this was also buses that Toyota made as well. This was the shocker, but yeah, it's a boxer flat 2-cylinder. As I looked up from the wiki, apparently. Yeah, here's also, you can also do a wide body, but there's no engine swap for it as of now. I will say. Yeah, here's the customization you can do to the car on top of it, because yeah, there is some customization you do, considering you see a spoiler, but the regular Sports 800 does not have a spoiler whatsoever. And you can adjust the rims, so in case you want something to look much nicer than the weird hubcaps it's got going on. Or make it 16 inches. Have a wide. You can also give it offset of wide, which you can do the very same to the basic rims too. Just can't do rim width though. So yeah, you can basically do that. You can also, as we see here, we also got fronts. You can take out the bumpers and just leave them bare open instead, which looks so much better because yeah, I will say these bumpers look like crap. Here's a. And then we got the spoiler, which the spoiler you can either go for a small or medium, or actually look the best, which is the high one. Because yeah, I gotta say, the high one looks kind of really the best on it. Because my problem with the low and medium is sometimes is that they really don't whiff out the spoiler, so it just looks tacky, it looks weird. So the high one kind of gives it the less tackiness look, but yeah, that's it. Let's do headlights, change the license plate, of course. Kind of got to. It's a production car. It makes sense if it's a race car, though. But as a production car, yeah, it's gonna have a license plate. Which license plates always look good, even with the race cars. I would still recommend a license plate because you could slap something on it at the end, though. Make it look good. So. And then you got calipers, brake calipers to be exact. But you can do a lot for colors. I say a lot, mostly just the colors they have. But here's the tune setup I did for the Sports 800, which I'd say by tuning, I think I covered at least 80% of the car for the most part. I feel like I could probably squeeze a bit more, to be honest, but I think I did the most I could probably get out of it at the end of it. Now the gears are interesting for this one, I will say, compared to I think the two others where I went short for the first 4 gears, but went long for the 5th gear. Because yeah, at the end of the day, it's got to hit 130. So, but with those gears shorter though, it draws more acceleration when it comes to the hill climb portions, and draws in more faster times at the end of the day, I would say. Yeah, other than that, it has the rigidity upgrade, and that's really about it. It did not need the engine upgrades at all. At base, it's really good enough. You just need the turbo and the race parts, and you're set for life with this car at the end of. But that's basically it for the Toyota Sports 800 I did for the most part. There's also the decal, in case anyone wants the decal or vinyl of this. This is based around the old Toyota 800 race cars too. But now on to the race, which the Toyota Sports 800 1965 is Toyota's first, because I feel like they get this wrong in the text, is the first sports production car for Toyota. as of Japan. So yeah, this is the first car that Toyota made that is the first sports car they ever done, which is a 2-cylinder bike motor sports car. Sounds familiar. Sounds like, as I said, they kind of just maybe took some notes from Honda in that matter and just apply it to their own at the end of it. Either way, I'm fine with it. The sports, but if I had to choose which one looks better at the end of it, it's the Honda S500 for sure. But the Sports 800 is very unique too, for that matter. I just will say, because of its very low horsepower, there is a huge trade-off, as you're probably noticing here, and it's about to happen here once we hit the hill climb portion. Because as you can see, the gears are just struggling to go up the hill, because for acceleration, I'm just going to say probably like a 1 or a 2 on that, because its acceleration is not really that good for the base motor it offers and such. So yeah, that's the one problem about the Sports 800, but otherwise not so bad, I would say. Because the turn's pretty good, because it has a spoiler, thank God it has a spoiler. Although it doesn't have a front spoiler, so you can't get better turning, but it's good enough for what it has for stabilization, I would say. And sitting right there in the middle seems to be fine enough, I would say, because I tried to mess with that as much as I can, and it likes that middle spot for most of it to bring out that time at the end there, which, yeah, in that lap there, which, yeah, as you can see, I already did the best lap, so we're just doing the other laps for now, but there's the best lap right there on the left, which is 125.974, yeah. I'm just gonna say, if you expect this to beat the Jeep and Mini Cooper, you are very, very out of league on that, in that case. Because, yeah, this thing cannot beat them on that acceleration at all, because like I said, the acceleration is only like a 1 to me. While the speed is, I don't know, the speed is kind of a 3 for the most part. It's kind of decent, but the acceleration does not back it up whatsoever. It's very low on that portion, because this car is kind of surprisingly a very streamlined car. It's you can very well take that speed in very well for the most part. But in terms of catching up with others or staying in pace of the miles per hour, is very, very slow on that part. So if you were to do a sprint balance setup, you're going to have to up this a bit more. Just for that, I'll say. Because, yeah, I do have a plan in the future to well, not a plan, but I would say if someone were to, like, if they were doing a no fuel sprint with these cars, I would recommend upping the speed in this case, because it is so kind of slow on that part, but it's not bad. It's not bad at all. So now onto the best lap, which is the best lap. As you've seen, there was a 1.5. Yeah, it did it on the 3rd lap and such. Which, yeah, I will say this thing technically had problems with the go-kart back there, because, yeah, the go-kart was technically outpacing the Sports 800 just a tad, because that go-kart hits the in-between margins of let's say that, yeah, if you're driving a fast car, you can beat the go-kart. If you're not driving a fast car, you're not beating that go-kart at the end of the day. And the Toyota Sports 800 is, I mean, not bad, like, for these 2 courses, but this 3rd one here, you're gonna see something funny. Yeah, just say it did not beat the go-kart on the 3rd one, because it's, I mean, it has cornering, it just doesn't have the acceleration speed to back that up at the end of it, because that. And I would say, yeah, because of the bike motor, but the thing is, for a bike motor, I don't think it's like the worst you could drive, but it's not the greatest either on that matter. This is also probably what led to Toyota also picking the Boxer motor for the GT86, because this had a Boxer motor. So the GT86 is going to have a Boxer motor in return. Because the GT86 is kind of a birth between all cars, and I'd say if you want to know where the Boxer motor might have came from, it might have came from this. I must say. For the whole Boxer ideal, I should say, and why they went to Subaru is because of this reason. And such. But yeah, 125.974, not bad, but not really that good. I would say a C at that rate. Now onto the more speeder course, that is the Goodwood Festival Speed. I say Festival Speed, let's say this is the old track. instead. I mean, technically you can call it festival speed. It's kind of weird. It's very weird. Yeah, I'm gonna call it festival speed. I know it's not the hill climb, but the thing is, I didn't set the hill climb until now. And that hill, which I am shocked that Gran Turismo doesn't have the hill climb, but yeah, because it's and that. Yep, so see this little puttery car go about as the thing goes. It still shocks me that the fact that you only need 66 horsepower just to hit 130 with this. Because it really shocks me on that matter. It's like, whoa, that's all you need? Because that's kind of bad, because as you can see with the low horsepower, it's a huge trade from the acceleration in the top speed. Because top speed, it's not going to get up to it very efficiently as the other other two, and for acceleration, it just putters around. It doesn't really. There's no way you're drifting this, daddy-o, as the thing goes. Then again, it's very hard to even drift any 130 mile/hour car because there's not enough acceleration to back that up to keep it going. So at best, you're just sliding it instead. And yeah, I consider that a slide more than drifting. If you're drifting, you gotta have the throttle to back that up. Because it keeps it going. That thing goes. And yeah, when you hit low speeds like this, you ain't drifting anytime soon. This is kind of like the best. Like, this is the best spot an FF car could be sitting at. It's the worst part. Because then you don't feel bad driving an FF at the end of the day. As some, you know, FR purists have claimed, you know, that such. I'm not dissing on FFs because I like FFs, but there is leeway of problems I come to agree and understand that FFs have and such. So yeah, seeing, because yeah, there's a bandwidth of where FFs go, and I would say the bandwidth where FFs go is in the lower tier. I would say like up to 300 kilometers per hour is probably the best for FF cars. Any further on that, you might as well have a hybrid system or something else for that, to back up, so you don't have to deal with the acceleration stutter. Which is probably a good thing. What Honda recently did with the Civic was add a hybrid system in the back wheel, so that way it could have more control on the acceleration factor and not stutter up, which is a huge problem that I have with Civics nowadays and such. But yeah, overall the Toyota Sports 800 though, it's an FR, so thank God for that. For a fun sports car as it is and such. And this what I will say there is another name this car does go by. If you want to call it this too, you technically can, because the prototype was called this, which was called the Public Car. It was called the Toyota Sports Public Car. But they went with 800 instead because I believe that's the size of the motor. Because yeah, this, for a 2-cylinder motor, this is a big chunky motor, I gotta say. Because you would think, oh, that's small. Yeah, it's small if it's like something 4-cylinder, but when it's 2-cylinder, that's pretty chunky, I gotta say. That's a big 2-cylinder motor. Because 2-cylinder motors, they don't really pass beyond 1000 cc. That's like the Mini Cooper's case, where the Mini Cooper's case was 1000 cc for a inline 4. This is a 2-cylinder bike motor that is this big, to say. Very big motor, but yet you only just need 66 horsepower. I will note, I think this car is definitely better off put in the pedestrian speeds though, because that way you get that speed acceleration. So yeah, overall, what I think about this Toyota Sports 800 is that it's a very interesting car because it uses a bike motor, and you would say, oh, that's not a bike motor, it was with the car. No, it's a bike motor because of a 2-stroker engine. Bike motors use 2-stroker engines. The 2-stroker engines are gas mixed with oil fused motors, just like a chainsaw, matter of fact. So yeah, you technically have a chainsaw in this car at the end of the day. Although chainsaw is a lot less because they don't need a whole lot to, you know, get the chain bar going, but you know, unless it's a big bar, then that's exception. But you know, overall, it's just a very interesting thing to do, I gotta say. Because yeah, it always makes me wonder if bike motors can be the future of some things, you know. That way you don't have to, you know, deal with oil. You just put gas in oil. But I don't know if, you know, doing that technically costs more than, you know, have oil on the side and gas and such. But yeah, as you can see here in Tsukuba here, it's very funny. Yeah, I had the Fiat 500F, which yeah, that's gonna be the next contender, by the way. It's a Fiat 500F. That's the next one, and it is also a bike motor too. Funny enough, I will say. But yeah, he's the next contender. I decided to just put him there because screw it. Because yeah, the go-kart was technically, well, he wasn't technically going faster than me, but I was beating him on some portions. I just didn't want him right behind me the whole time. So instead, I put the Fiat 500, and you know, easy slow cruise with the car like that. I guess that's a heads up for in case we do the AI fight. Don't vote for the Fiat 500. I hate to say. I'm not surprised. AI usually drives that thing like crap, anyways. But to say the Sports 800, yeah, it's not really gonna be good at the speed or acceleration kind of tracks out there. But makes you wonder, what about turning courses and stuff of that such? Because yeah, looking back at the time, but yeah, I forgot to check the time of that one. It hit 1:33.1, which by time of that, it's not great either. Considering the hot rod did 1:30. So yeah, that's a big difference there. That tells you who's got the better catch-up speed, like right there alone. But it makes you wonder about touring courses. Is that gonna matter a whole lot there too? And we'll see this as the survey says. Gonna do quick 3 laps because yeah, this is a short one, and usually when I do like minute runs like this, I usually do 3 laps around, so that way you can see it at the end of the day. But let's see if it does quicker, shall we? But yeah, in terms of Toyota to say that this is the first production car, this is not the first production car, I will say. Because yeah, I think in the Gran Turismo text it keeps mentioning it's the first production car. It's the first production sports car, but it's not the first production car. Because in terms of first production car, I know, well, in terms of United States, it was the Toyota Crown. That's why the Toyota Crown is very famous for the most part. Well, technically famous over here because it was the first car ever here and still here to this day, as of from 1957 and onward. Well, you know, a lot of different iterations, definitely not the same car as it was, but, you know, that's why we have a Toyota Crown in Gran Turismo 7 as well, which thank God too, because it feels good to still see that car at the end of it. Like, I know it's a pedestrian car, but still. But yeah, most likely, you'll be seeing that in pedestrians as well. But yeah, I will say Toyota has a lot of pedestrian cars that I get to choose for that. So hopefully I pick a good amount of the roster for that, but we'll see here. Yeah, going around the corner here, yeah, 108.808. That is very slow, I gotta say. So I'm probably just gonna say probably not much different. Cause yeah, because in terms of the times I've seen, the Ford Roadster did a 105.9, and the Mini Cooper did a 106.2, I believe. When I was checking the records there. So yeah, definitely not making that, but you know, as the saying goes, I will say this is definitely a ranked C car. This is definitely not a quick car at the end of the day, but it will get to where you need to go to at the end of the day. Also, and that. I guess that's what's kind of important at the end of the day. It just, yeah, I will say for something called a sports car, this is a very yesteryear sports car, if I gotta say. For joke wise, because when you compare it to nowadays, there's a huge difference on that matter. But overall, I mean, still not a bad car. It's still a fun little putt-putt car, and it's Toyota's first attempt to do a sports car. It's just kind of weird though. They chose a Boxer 2-cylinder bike motor at the end there for this. And such, but yeah, here we go. 108.412. That was as quick as I could get out of it at the end of and such. So yeah, not bad. It's just not, you know, super good. But overall, what can it do? You can do the Sunday Cup. I would say comfort sauce for the most part. Comfort sauce for that too. For the Sunday Cup Classic, the technical event where it comes from. It could do the FR Challenge. I would recommend probably sports tires or racing tires for that matter. I should have hard checked that, to be honest, because I haven't really hard checking my shit lately. I should, but like I think that's really about it. Otherwise, because luckily there is events for this you can do it with. And sadly, it's not a K car, even though it really should be because it's a small car. I mean, heck, look at the horsepower. It's only 66, and yet I will say, yeah, there's also the historic, but yeah, no. For the most part. There's also the high speed ring and then the Toyota Highway Parade. I will say, if you want to do historic, I would recommend at least 155, maybe 186 if you're able to do that, but otherwise, here's the race I did it with, which is at Tsukuba, matter of fact. Driving against a bunch of, I would say, very, I would say sports cars at the end of the day, because yeah, I just went full blitz with. I would say with sports hard tires for this one. Well, when I say sports hard tires, I mean sports hard tires for the setup, but racing hard for within the race. Because yeah, you just abuse the custom race and have the opponent's be slower. I say abuse loosely because you somehow get more money if you put worse wear tires initially, and then you just switch the tires back to the racing hard tires. Which is what I've been doing to get that extra dough at the end of the day. Although for this case, I just lowered it enough where it's kind of feels like feasible opponents and not feasible opponents. Because yeah, when you race with race hard tires, they do take that performance into account and will give you something like an NSX Type R, for example, which in no way, in no how, this thing is as compatible or competitive to an NSX Type R. I'm sorry, this is not happening. That thing goes. Yeah, we got a couple wealthy opponents here. We got the Merak SS, or Merak SS. I need to call it just the Merak SS. I keep calling it Merak. I think that's because that's what it's pronounced, but I'm not really sure. It's very confusing for the most part. Then you got the Sylvia K's of S13. You got the Shelby 350 or GT350. The Plymouth Superbird, and then you got Subaru BRZ S 2015, and down the line here once we get there. Yeah, this is gonna be a interesting race because at least there's a lot of corners, so these higher power ones won't move for gas so quick, but you know that could be dead wrong. Oh yeah, the Plymouth XNR Gia Roadster, we have this in here. The BMW Z4, that's definitely going to be one of the competitors for sure, I gotta say. And then, let's see, what do we got here? Oh yeah, the Toyota 2000 GT. Speaking of sports cars, that was the next sports car that Toyota turnaround did. But yeah, gotta say, massive improvement over the 880 day, for that matter. Because it went from a 0.8 motor to a 2-liter engine. Done by Yamaha no less too. Yeah, Yamaha gave this, or not gave this to them, but shared ideals with them, and they turned around and made that, which, yeah, that looks so much prettier and so much good to look at. Cause yeah, I will say looks wise for the Sports 800, I did not like those front lights. Those front lights just look weird. The lights in general just look weird on the Toyota Sports 800. So I'm not sure what they were thinking with those lights at the end of it. Just a weird choice, I'll say. But yeah, here's the Volvo V40. That's an interesting point, I gotta say. Then we got the Roadster NR8, which, yeah, don't mind the decal. That's just a special decal you can just slap on. It's not a race car or anything. It just has a special decal. And then you have the Ferrari Z, Ferrari Z of 240ZG. You got the higher edition one, or not higher edition one, but like the next generation, I would say, to the other 240Z. Then you got the Audi TT Coupe, and then the BMW M3 1989. That's definitely well, where the opponent, so that's a touring car. Although that's not the touring car, because there is another M3. I think it's M3 CSL or something like that. It's no, M3 Sport, I believe that's called. And then we have a freaking Fiat Aber 500, which, yeah, that doesn't look like it's doing so good there, Captain. They got a Firebird Trans Am too, which this shocks me. I was like, I figured he'd be up much higher though. He's just sitting back here. Yeah, so overall, just very interesting opponents. I gotta say, oh yeah, we got Renault Clio RS 220 Trophy. Very suitable car for cup racing, like I said. And you got the Integra Type R, I see there. Up a little further ahead from the Merrick SS. But yeah, very interesting car choices this time around, like I said. And that's the thing I love about custom races, that you get to see like really random car choices sometimes. And fun ones, I will say. You know, at the end of the day, they're just regular public cars. At the end of the day. But nothing that special, but yeah, we saved this for the most part. You got the Volvo V40, the... What is that? Oh yeah, it's Super BRZ again. Oh yeah, the Mangusta. We got the D-Towers on Mangusta too. Which, yeah, that's definitely a romper of a car to have in here. That's not super sports at all. No, that wasn't made in mind for supercar racing of that era. No. What makes you think of that? Yeah, overall, so far with the Sports 800, I got the third place right now. I just gotta get to the Audi TT Coupe and the M3 because they are not giving up. I'm not surprised. They move pretty quick on the straights, anyways. So I'm not surprised on that matter. But there is something big you're probably noticing right there with the Sports 800. My fuel tank has not moved very much. Because yeah, it does fuel consumption on Sports 800 on low speeds, but on high speeds though, this has probably like one of the best fuel tanks for you, I will say. Because matter of fact, I do hope for engine swap that they add the 2+4 for that one as well. But I kind of also do hope that they add like other motors for that car, because the Sports 800 is a pretty crazy little car, I gotta say, at the end of the day. That's another car that needs an engine swap dearly. Big time is that car, because just what the motor it has is insane, because the fuel mileage is just insane. Because yeah, just to say, one run in a 25-minute endurance race on a 9 times burn rate and a 12 times tire burn rate. If anything that burned the most, I'm gonna say, Advance, is the tires, because you're gonna be noticing that for sure, because it's too secure, but too secure has nothing but corners. Gonna be burning those tires like no tomorrow, as thing goes. But yeah, if you want to know what's about to lead my victory at the end of the day, it's not gonna be the speed and acceleration in this matter. It's gonna be the fuel consumption. That fuel consumption gonna be a big deal to some of these opponents here. Considering some of them are already in half there. Considering the Clio's in half, which that shocks me. The hatchback compared to an old supercar is burning more than the supercar. Weird. But yeah, you also get to see some, I guess, sort of realism factors too. It's like, okay, muscle car, you expect that to burn like, tomorrow, but a hatchback burn as much as a muscle car when they were claimed to be a lot less. What the hell? Oh yeah, that's like the Charger. Charger has a third of the tank left, or 4 for the most part. And Superbird's, Superbird's just a Charger with a big wing at the end of the day, and more aerodynamics, and the front's attached because it's not the Daytona. The Daytona just has a big old clip in front, where the Superbird's a more finished product of the Daytona Charger and better aerodynamic overall, because it's more reinforced and stuff. Sadly, only 500 of those are made because it was limited production, because NASCAR later banned the Daytona Charger because it was just too good. That and not only that, they didn't appreciate that the car had a big ass motor. at the end of the day. Which sucked. But yeah. For the most part. Even though later on down the road they did start adding spoilers and stuff to their NASCARs. So it's like, okay, at this point that could technically come back, even though the Hemi motor's just not going to do much anyways, so you know. We have this giving chase after the Audi TT Coupe 3.2 and the BMW M3 as they're moving along here. Such, but I will say the fuel consumption's going to get them eventually, as the M3's in half. The TT Coupe, I think it's burning more. What I've seen there. Yeah, it's burning much more. Okay. That shocks me. That shocks me that that smaller car is burning more than that car at the end of the day. Yeah, and then we got the Abar 500, which, yeah, he's gonna probably end up blocking these guys here if they don't get around him. Here, let's see. Knowing how the AI works sometimes, I must say. Oh, okay, looks like fun. It does feel like it was gonna halt it back because here I come, as the thing goes. I should have saved the replays so you guys can see the times too, just in case. I'll try to make sure to do that next time. That way you guys can see the times and stuff. And such. But yeah, there we go. We got Super Bird there. Fueled in already, so he's already submitting. Like, not surprised. I mean, the trade-off is the Super Bird birds can bolt around this track at the end of the day. It's just, the problem is, yeah, you're burning more fuel in the process. Because you're a big old clunky 425 horsepower muscle car. And yeah, that is technically a problem. That's why people just do drag races with those at the end of the day, because that's what muscle cars were made for. They're made for that raw acceleration, that raw burn at the end of the day. And this also leads to a distinction in why some cars are called pony cars, because some cars are called pony cars because they do more than just drag racing. They do they're trying to be the cut from above, as the thing goes, and not just be a dragster and such. They can be if they want to, but that's the thing. So that's why the Mustang and Camaro is a very special car, because they're not just muscle cars, they're pony cars. They're basically our American sports cars at the end of the day. Just fancier, we're just called ponies. But here's the Plymouth XNRG Roadster, which I'm not surprised it not burned so much fuel, because it is a 6 inline, I believe, so it's going to do pretty good on the fuel part. That's the good part about the Plymouth GNR, besides being just like 200 horsepower and weighing very much less too. So it doesn't have a whole lot on it at the end of the day. It's almost like Plymouth should have made that car, but they didn't. At the end of the day, and that's what sucks about it, because that was just a one-off concept car. You got the Volvo V40 here, just driving along with its 5-cylinder. And yeah, it has a 5-cylinder motor, not a 6-cylinder that its body is based off of from a Focus and such. And then you got the Mazda Roadster NAR, just driving along. Not surprised, quirky little roadster. You got the Fairlady 240ZG just hitting up at 8th right now as it goes along here. And then you got the Renault Clio RS 220 Trophy hitting up at 7th right now, but it's gonna have to go in the pits sometime soon here. I'd say about 2 or 3 laps here. I do love the speedometer, I will say, on that one for terms of dashboards when I'm looking at these dashboards and stuff. I still think maybe the best one might be the BRZ-S here, which is funny because, hey look, it's a successor to the Sports 800 technically. Because yeah, that was what Toyota needed. They needed to go back. Because I will say, sometimes you can press the car forward too much, that you might be overdoing it, and then you're losing that value eventually, where you may have to turn around and just revert back to the day one some things and try again, as it goes. Try to recuperate back to small and making it back to being the big house it was once again. And hopefully not breaking it again. the process. Try to get that matter even more solidified, so it's Yep, now I'm sticking up here at the first place right now. That's the M3's gonna chase, or trying to, this part, but good luck on that. Your field thinks about to submit soon. However, we do have a new contender here, because the BMW Z4 is starting to get up here too on top of it. Which is kind of hilarious, because now you just see both BMWs go at each other on that matter, so. But we do got a hidden one coming up here eventually, because as you can see, we saw the D Tommaso Mangusta. He's jumping up there, I'm noticing. The Maserati Merrick SS just chilling. Not really going that crazy, but he is getting there. So, for the most part. The Monster Roadster, I'm not surprised he's going to be showing up a bit more, because I'm not surprised. The Roadster's pretty good on the fuel efficiency too, for the most part. Not crazy, but just right. Because yeah, if I have anything to say, it's the Subaru BRZ versus the Roadster. Because yeah, there's always been a competitive battle between those two. So you know, because essentially Toyota's GT86 wasn't just a GT86. They also kind of made it by to be a Mazda competitor, even though the Mazda's a convertible and the GT86 is a hardtop. So, you know, for the most part, well, soft top technically, but you know, that's just kind of weird because I see soft top too. That technically means convertible, but it's not convertible though. It's smooth top. You know what? Smooth top. He said. And then we got the M3 still giving chase here. The Subaru BRZ's back in third. It looks like. And yeah, the Z4 just went in. Clio just went in. Yeah, they're just gonna try their damnedest try to get to me as quick as they can, because yeah, I will say they will get rubber band punched eventually, because that is the matters of custom race and just, you know, the races in general throughout the game of interest for that matter. And such. Got Audi TT just going around. Go, Perfect XNR, go! This is the Toyota 2000 GT, because yeah, I did make sure that my roster for this time was not duped. On top of it, I will try to make sure to keep it unique as much as I can. That way the opponent doesn't use the same car. You know, there's some cases they're kind of technically using the same car, but somewhat. Although it's kind of funny to see if the Superbird's better than the regular Charger that it's based off of at the end of. So that would be a more funnier matter. Then we get the Volvo. The Volvo, oh yeah, the Volvo's sit back in 18th now. That sucks. And then he just got the Hammer 500. He's just chilling. He's just having a good old daily drive on the way there, as it goes. I kind of feel bad for him. But yeah, as you can see on my tires though, I just barely burned them too, because on top of it, I think that's the best part of it being a bike motor, because bike motors, they don't push a lot of torque in at the end of the day, so as a result, they ain't gonna imprint their tires very much as a 4-cylinder at the end of the day. So as a sports car, if you want a crazy sports car, I guess a high-powered bike motor might be just the answer. If you want something crazy at the end of the day. If you want a super light sports car, which is something I guess even Lotus should take notes on this part, because I wonder if Lotus should try to do this too, because yeah, it's kind of weird that you had this one guy that wanted to make light sports cars. Why not do that? Like, what's wrong with that at the end of the day? I mean, I know fuel consumption's not going to be great, but what's wrong with that at the end of the day? When the car's never going to burn its tires in the first place. You know? I mean, the other choice I could say is give a rotary motor. And when I say rotary motor, I mean probably just the one. You don't really need a 2. The 2 was just RX-7 thing, I believe, at the end of the day. I think if you do a lot of modifications, you could probably make a Cosmos V8 RX-7 at the end of the day. That's fine. And such. But yeah, for the most part. But yeah, there's the Mangusta trying to haul his butt up there, though. He's trying his damnedest. He just needs to pass the Roadster, though. It's just kind of crazy, though. But yeah, he's definitely going to be the one that's going to be jump up here eventually. I'm not going to be surprised. Now Cleo's sitting back at 9th here with Super BRZ in the back. Just coasting along. It's like buddy to buddy. Yeah, the Monster Roadster is currently being the BRZ, matter of fact, as of right now. Got the BMW Z4 just being the champion at the end of the day, and then I'm surrounded by muscle cars at this point. But yeah, because the muscle cars, because of the rubber band, now they're gonna be hauling ass in these portions here. So it's pretty hilarious to see them all of a sudden just fucking jet forward. That's some funny shit. Like I said, this is why I love custom racing. Custom racing is just so good. Like, I know people don't want that, but as a toy box feature, which I'll just say this, which yeah, I've been having a big talk about this with my buddy and just thoughts about this. But if you want the best replayability when it comes to games, and Sakurai just proved this for me too for Kirby Air Ride's case. As a recent, he made that game. Toy boxing is the future when it comes to keep a game replayable as much as you can. As the saying goes. If it's not going to be an open world, that's my other suggestion for you to do, is to make the game as toy boxing as possible if you can deliver at the end of the day. Because I'll just say this, Kirby Air Ride just completely destroys Mario Kart World right now, and they need to take freaking notes on that. Like I said. Because toy boxing, I'm just gonna say, it's the future, baby. Whether you love it or not. It's so good. Custom racing is so good. Heck, I even heard from a buddy that Fortnite's gonna be doing player versus bots, or versus like 100 bots. If they do that, I am coming back to Fortnite, because that was the one funnest things you could do. Because that was the one fun thing I loved in custom, and they kind of destroyed it at the end of the day. I'm not sure why they destroyed it, but they destroyed it at some point. I just know some people made custom maps on Fortnite way back where you just pit yourself against a bunch of bots, and your objective is just to go on a murder spree and try to kill them. And that is fun to do, I'll just say. That is very fun to do. Because yeah, then you don't have to deal with, tryhards or, shenanigans and stuff. I mean, you still dealing with tryhards in some kind of perspective. Those ARs are gonna warn that, but I still think that's just better to do at the end of the day. That is an innovation of itself. That's why when I get the Place to Survive version here, I wonder what the Sophie custom race is gonna be more interesting or not. Because I thought they added the Sophie custom race for the Place to Survive version. Which I'll be getting that here in a bit too, matter of fact. I'm gonna download that, which is gonna be like 2 or 3 days. It's 100 gigabytes. It's like, good lord. On that matter. Yeah, we see the Mangusta here hitting dirt now, which I'm not surprised. He's hauling ass. And M3's got stuck by the Volvo. Yeah, he's done at this point. That sucks. For the most part. Oh god. Look like he was trying to hit the pit there. Like, good god. Yeah, he's giving chase to that BMW Z4 now. Like, he's the next one. You're next. But yeah, I will say they slowly are coming up to me now as my tires are burned so much that I will say the lap times are just not that good. And considering, look at the time there, 103.032. Good lord, you're faster than the freaking Volkswagen Beetle of the 550 Club and Cup Plus I had irritations for. Good lord. You're faster than a 550 PP car. Thank God that. Jesus Christ. No, that matter. Cause yeah, that's how ridiculous the rubber band can get. Oh Jesus. And he's getting stuck by the freaking Hammer 500. Move that 500. Oh my god. GT350 hitting 11th right now. We got the Integra at 10th, BRZ at 9th, Roadster 8th, Ferry 7th, Clio 6, TT Coupe at 5th, M3 at 4th. And then you had D-Thomas Magusta at 3rd, trying to get that Z4. We're on the final lap right now as we speak. That thing goes. Yeah, it's the final lap. Time for the firecracker. That thing goes. So yeah, I'm just more looking at the Mangusta and Z4 here. What, like, are they gonna win? Are they gonna, or is he gonna take it? Is he gonna take it at the last second? Let's see here. Going across the big straightaway here. As I just, finish at this point, because, like I said, one fuel, one set of tires, that's all this baby needs. So let's see here. The Mangusta's hauling ass, and he's past the Z4. And thus that wraps the race at the end of the day. Oh my god. Stole at the last second. Yep, so that ends that for this tryout. So I'll see you guys all next time. You guys take care and stuff. So then enjoy this little teaser of the next car, which is the Fiat 500F 1965. Or, not 65, 68. So then people, I'll see you guys all next time. You take care and ciao.